Have you ever wondered what it would be like for your dad to leave your family and pursue a career in breakdancing? Well, thanks to TikTok, we no longer have to worry because this video of a breakdancing man was sent in response to his daughter saying that he abandoned their family. But we'll finish watching that later. Well, it all starts out with this TikToker named Maddie Hearts Soccer, and although we won't be talking much about soccer, we will be looking at some good attack and defense. The worst part is that in my script I wrote do finger guns. But Maddie mainly just posts sort of story time content, just sort of talking to her audience. She's got 76,000 followers, she gets about 50k views per video, a couple of them even have 1 million in her pinned, but then if we look down the bottom right, we see this story time titled Daddy Issues, and it has 6.7 million views.
What's a piece of trauma that you have that's funny? It has to actually be funny. I'll go first. My dad abandoned my family when I was 5 years old. That is a wife and 4 kids. He abandoned us and then pursued amateur breakdancing.
I understand that this is probably quite a traumatic situation for her, but this is so absurd. Just that single sentence alone, when I was 5 years old, my dad abandoned my family to pursue a career in amateur breakdancing. We'll actually have a look at his breakdancing later, and I'll tell you what, for someone whose soul should be weighed down by his actions, this guy can boogie.
And he got really good.
He is really good.
He blew up. He became a D-list celebrity status, viral breakdancer. He became the oldest actively competing breakdancer in the world.
Wow.
And he got on Good Morning America and talk
Oh
shows.
my
And
God.
Washington Post wrote about him. And he went super viral. And he did all these interviews. And he danced with Paula Abdul. And here, I'll show you.
Okay, here we go. So we're about to see him dance. Just imagine how hard it is to deal with your dad leaving in the first place, but then having to figure out why you're now seeing your dad on daytime TV dancing, but you're no longer seeing him in real life.
To see, take a look at this 60-year-old
See, look,
breakdancer.
he can get down.
Years old. Amazing.
Wow.
That's Ben Hart. He's competing at a breakdancing competition in Philadelphia, and he may not have won, but I tell you what, he is winning over a lot of people on the internet.
Yes.
He really is. Yep, he's winning over a lot of people on the internet.
This guy wouldn't pay my medical bills.
I'm sorry, it's the juxtaposition of a man in a shirt. It looks like, is he wearing some sort of it's either a hat or a do-rag, and if it's a do-rag, I'm honestly not fucking surprised. But it's the juxtaposition of a man in a shirt and smart clothes. He's got loafers on, he's doing fucking head spins, back spins, getting down, everyone's cheering him, and then she's just he wouldn't pay my medical bills when I was 5 years old. He left my family in the dust. I'm sorry for laughing so hard, because it's a genuinely bad situation, and I'm very sorry that you're going through it, but it's really funny.
The worst part, damn it, he's good. He should not be able to move his body like that. It's impossible. It's beautiful.
So she's very clearly dealt with this over a lot of time, and she's fine with it now. You can see she's making jokes about it, saying oh dang, he's good, which honestly, you can't lie, this man can get down. And obviously, being the massive D-list breakdancing celebrity that he is, he saw the 1 million likes that his daughter got and decided that he had to put the story straight. So he made a 10-minute response video. The initial video is 1 minute and 40 seconds. And we're gonna look into the life of this man a little bit first before we watch the response video, but I just wanna show you what happens if you click too far into his response video. So this is his response video, and obviously we will watch this full thing in just a moment. You can see that's his daughter on the left, him on the right explaining everything. But this is what happens if I just, just click maybe 7 minutes in. Oh, whoa, I'm sorry. He's breakdancing again. This is a man of talent. This is a man of honor, and this is a man of hard work. Wow, that's a move. But yeah, like I said, we will watch that full video in just a moment. I just want to go down his profile and kind of give you an insight into the mind of this breakdancing champion. So we'll start with the header, and we can see there's him and his new wife, I'm assuming. There's some pictures in the background. I don't actually know, they might be him, I'm assuming. There's a picture of him going viral on the morning television. I'd slap that up there. I'm assuming that's his new wife again. And there's also a book that he's written in the middle called Bitcoin: Your Off-Ramp from the Corrupt Political System and Protection from Economic Collapse, a Beginner's Guide. And honestly, I don't think I need to say anything on that. I think we could just pass over that and we're cool. So then his bio reads, Bitcoin explainer. I think you know where this is going. Freedom maximalist, world's oldest actively competing breakdancer, 65. Elon fan. It's always good. Challenging the narrative. And I follow back. Well, that's great, isn't it? He follows people back. I don't think he does follow people back because he's got 14.6k followers and he only follows 800 people. Those numbers don't really add up. And then his pinned tweet says, as the world's oldest actively competing breakdancer at age 65, one of the highlights of the past year was representing Bitcoin in the US National Breaking Championship. So here he is, obviously getting down with the cool kids, with a Bitcoin logo on his back. I mean, listen, the guy can get funky, but what's with the Bitcoin? I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about it, but I don't really get what he means by saying that he was representing Bitcoin, because from my understanding, that's the exact same idea as me going to a breakdance competition with a big pound sign on my back and then just dancing and going, yeah guys, look at me, I'm getting down with the pound. Come on guys, everybody, let's get down with the pound. I don't know really how you can, you know, represent a currency, so to speak, but maybe I don't understand it enough.
Okay, I wake up at 6 a.m.
Oh, he's wearing a Bitcoin shirt as well. Will this man ever stop?
I get my coffee, I sit down, I open my computer, and what am I greeted with?
Your daughter.
Well, hundreds of comments calling me a deadbeat dad, a child abandoner, and all manner of other insults. So I think, what's this all about? Well, after a few minutes of investigation, I discover that my daughter, Maddie, has made a video about me. She's a screenwriter in Hollywood. She's also a big social media influencer with millions of followers.
She's got 76k. Unless I'm confused, she only has 76k. Her Instagram has 10,000, so she doesn't have millions of followers. But anyway, if I am honest though, I do find it a little bit strange for the people that watched Maddie's video and then sort of laughed at it and then went and hunted this guy down to find him and then went another step to start messaging him being like, oh, you're a deadbeat dad, you're a bad person, all of this. Because whilst I might agree with some of those statements, I think it's just kind of weird to go and sort of like start spreading the hate around. Just don't do that. It's just a little teensy bit weird. But don't let that affect you and make you think that I'm on his side, because I'm really not. Anyone that breakdances in a Bitcoin shirt, I don't think I'm on their side.
And this video has tens of millions of views, 1 million likes, 20,000 comments, 40,000 bookmarks, 30,000 reposts. It's just insane.
Even the way he's talking right now, it kind of tells me exactly the type of person he is. Like, it's coming across so condescending, like unbelievably condescending. The way he's just like, and she's got so many followers, it's so crazy. You're pissing me off, fella.
Let's just watch Maddie's 90-second video, and then I'll give you my comments.
Okay, so then he sort of just watches her TikTok for the next like minute and a half, and he's kind of just like laughing, makes a couple comments, but they're not really that relevant, so we're just gonna skip that. So then he tells us that he needs to put the record straight and add some context to some of the statements that Maddie made.
First, I can see that as a 5-year-old, Maddie would see her dad as having abandoned the family. One day I was living there, the next day I wasn't. And that will look like abandonment to a child. But married couples do get divorced about half the time in America. And I was just living a mile or so down the street in LaGrange, Illinois.
Okay, so the first statement that he challenges is her saying that he abandoned her. And whilst I could go down the route that he just sounds a little bit salty at the language that's being used and he thinks that abandoning her is a little bit harsh, he does explain that obviously to a 5-year-old that's how it's going to feel, and it is going to feel like that to a small child seeing their dad up and leave. They're not going to understand it at all. But do I think that it's fair for her to say that he abandoned her? I think because it's more about how she felt and how she currently feels about this situation, I think it's fair for her to say that he abandoned them. Whether or not that's like logistically true, to her, she feels like you abandoned her. So no matter what you say, you can't change that.
Now, about not paying medical bills, that's just not correct. Here was the financial arrangement of the divorce. Maddie's mom, my ex-wife, got $2 million at the get-go.
Whoa, maybe I need to invest in a Bitcoin shirt. 2 million in the divorce. Damn. Oh, I'm sorry, let me just take a minute. Holy shit, $2 million. Okay, anyway, carry on. That means he had like 4 million at least. Wow.
Plus, I was paying her $18,000 per month in child support and alimony. This was later reduced to $12,000 per month. And of course, I paid health insurance and out-of-pocket medical costs. I also put $600,000 into the kids' college fund. In all, I paid out about $5 million to my ex-wife to cover costs for her and the kids.
Okay, so he says that he actually did send them money. This is something that we can't really, know whether or not it's true or not because it's just her word against his. So she's saying that he never paid for the medical bills. He's saying, actually, I sent you like $5 million over time. So, I don't know, kind of pick who you want to believe there. He kind of then just waffles for a bit and starts just yapping. A whole lot of yapping. But then we get to the exciting bit where he kind of explains a little bit about who he is and then starts breakdancing.
Now, some of you might be wondering, can he still breakdance at age 66? Well, I don't know. Let's see. I'll give it a try. Okay, Maddie, let's see how the old man does.
Oh no, imagine not seeing your dad. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm actually so sorry. You should. I'm so sorry. Imagine not seeing your dad for like your whole life. Then you make a TikTok about him. Suddenly he reappears and he says, "Okay, Maddie, let's see if the old man still got it." And then just gets down. Holy shit. Yeah. Yeah. See, if there's one thing I'm taking from his response video, it's, damn, that man can boogie. But the story doesn't end there because Maddie actually responded on TikTok to this video of him breakdancing in response to her saying that he abandoned her. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, so I thought that the story ends after we watch this response from Maddie, but I've just realized, scrolling down his profile, that 2 days ago, he posted a 30-minute response. Are you joking me? Okay, anyway, let's first watch Maddie's 2-minute response, and then we'll see about watching his 30-minute response.
I'm recording a quick response to all this. I'll probably delete this in the morning because I don't actually have bad will. I posted my video because it's a very funny story. It's very silly.
It is very funny and very silly.
I like to laugh at my trauma instead of being super sad about it. But I know my dad posted a 10-minute video or whatever being my daughter's lying. We have a great relationship. I have a great relationship with all my kids. That's just objectively not true.
Oh.
Guys, we're all freaking out about this in my family group chat right now. We're being he's so unhinged and delusional. We don't know if he actually believes his own narrative or if he's lying on purpose, but he's just a weird guy. Yeah, he said he lived down the street from us. That's not true. Or if he did, it was only for a few months maybe, but actually for most of my childhood, he lived in Florida with his new wife.
Okay, so that does change things slightly. I don't actually know where Maddie lives currently. Would be a bit weird if I did. But she says that he actually lived in Florida, which I'm assuming is a different state to where she lived, and not down the road like he just tried to tell everybody. So then Maddie goes on to explain a couple more details about her sort of childhood and her relationship with her dad without going too much into detail, because I'm sure you don't want to tell your whole life story online, especially if it's a story like this.
He gave us some money growing up. I honestly don't know the nitty-gritty of the financial situation. I really, really don't. But I do know that several times I've asked him for financial help with medical expenses, especially in college, and he wouldn't help me. So that's what I was referring to in my video when I was he wouldn't pay some of my medical bills.
Right. Again, refuting another one of his points. Obviously, we don't have any evidence of either of these accusations, but she rightly puts her hands up and says, I don't really know much about the financial situation, so he may well have sent them $5 million over time. But she's saying she directly asked him for help with her medical expenses during college, and he didn't. And that's what she was talking about, which I think is pretty fair.
At the end of the day, it doesn't have a huge effect on me. It's just kind of a bummer for my family. And we're all kind of looking at this and looking at his response, and we're just this is crazy. If this is actually his narrative, it's delusional.
Wow, okay, yeah. So that's obviously Maddie's response to her dad. She has also wrote in the caption saying, he's still my dad, even if we aren't currently in contact. His response is delusional and shocking, given the actual reality that he left and never looked back. I was just posting the funny part of this traumatic event. I'm a comedian, so I try and find light in sad situations. Done so much therapy to grow from what he did to us, now just trying to laugh about it. And like I said, that is pretty much all she had to say on everything. We are gonna go into his 30-minute response because I feel like I have to now that I've realized that he's done one. But if what she's saying is true and he is just really delusional and his whole narrative that he's just tried to tell the internet is actually false, then I think that's really, really hateful from him. Because unless he genuinely is delusional and he believes this narrative, which from her it seems like he can't possibly believe that, because how can you tell yourself that you live down the road if she's saying you immediately moved to a new state across the country and married a new woman? So maybe he's just told himself this story to feel better about everything and now he genuinely believes that's what's going on. Or the other side is that he's genuinely a little bit delusional and is trying to convince the internet that he's not this person that she's describing. Which I don't even think her initial video was that bad. Her saying that he abandoned them was probably the worst thing. Everything else was kind of just poking fun at it and being like, oh, look at my dad. I haven't spoke to him in forever, but he's really good at breakdancing and he's old. That's funny. But other than that, she didn't really like slew him or like say anything bad. So for him to try and paint this picture that she's lying and trying to make him seem like a hateful, disrespectful person is really quite strange. So like I said, I've not actually watched any of this half-an-hour response video, but I'm gonna go through it now and see whether any of it's worth talking about. If you're seeing this right now, it means that there's something in there. So for the first few minutes, he kind of just spends some time talking about the first video and her videos that she's made and the whole social media storm, as he calls it. He also says at one point that she's a social media King Kong, because her video got 7 million views. I don't really know what he meant by that, but okay. He does also add a caption that says, I like this part, when she's showing off all of his dance moves, which I thought was really funny. That's the part that he liked, only that part. The next 2 minutes of his response are just her video that we just watched. So it's actually about 5 minutes in when we actually hear his first response to what she said. And he starts by saying that she's just regurgitating what her mum has told her all these years, and it's actually not what happened.
Now, I'm not going to go through all of Maddie's points here, most of which are just a repeat of what her mom's been telling the kids for the last 19 years. Okay, so let's roll tape to see what childhood was actually like for my kids. And let's see how my relationship was with the kids even after the divorce. We have with us here Maddie Hart. She is a YouTube specialist. How many videos, Maddie, do you have on YouTube now?
About 54.
And
this just doesn't feel right to me at all. So he's now obviously just showing family home footage to try and be like, yeah, I was a great guy, I was a great dad. And it really doesn't sit right with me. I don't know what it is, but something about this just doesn't sit right with me. This is not something that he should be dealing with in the public eye. He should not be going on Twitter and making a 30-minute video full of home videos trying to say, hey guys, I'm a great guy. Guys, I'm amazing. I'm actually really cool. I breakdance. I do loads of stuff. If he really has an issue with what she says, then he should be talking to her in private and being like, listen, this is my perspective. Let me set the record straight. If he's trying to say that her mum was lying, then message Maddie and tell her that. Don't come online with your 30-minute video of all this footage of you being a great dad and try and persuade the world. You should not be trying to persuade the world, you should be trying to persuade your own daughter. And I'm not kidding either. If I skip through the next 5 minutes of the video, it's just home footage. The whole time. For me personally, showing videos of you with your daughters and you guys having a great time doesn't prove anything to me. It just shows that in those moments you guys were happy. It doesn't say anything about the full situation. So I don't really know why he's put them in there. It's not like people are gonna watch that and be like, oh, he's a great dad. He filmed his daughter one time and he took a picture of that, yay. But let's carry on and see what else he has to say.
Maddie is not lying in her videos. She is saying in these videos what she perceives to be true from her perspective. She's expressing her truth. And her perception is impacted radically by 19 years of brainwashing by my ex-wife. I don't want anyone attacking or bullying Maddie for her videos. Her videos express her perspective.
It's just so despicable, isn't it? Everything he's saying is so despicable. Now, I apologize for having a little bit of an emotional reaction here, but like, the words that he's saying are just so despicable to me, because I just can't get over the fact that he's posting this online for everybody to see. Like, if you truly cared about your daughter and your daughter's feelings, you wouldn't let her watch the whole world watch her parents argue. If you truly cared, you would have just posted a statement and been like, listen, I don't necessarily agree with some of the things that she said. They're from her perspective. My perspective on everything's a little bit different, but I'm gonna handle this situation in private because I want to have a healthy relationship with my daughter. That's probably more something he should say, rather than obviously posting a 30-minute video of him breakdancing and saying your mum's a liar.
Now, I told Maddie I liked 98% of her video, but that there were some significant inaccuracies in there.
We're not going to sit and watch the whole video because, like I said, it's 30 minutes, but I've been through it and I'm going to just basically summarize a few of the things. But he basically says that they actually lived 10 minutes away in Illinois and that he saw any of the kids that wanted to see him. He says that he saw his son the most because teenage girls often want to spend more time with their friends than they do with their family. He then also says that boys are easier to raise because they don't get swept up into drama like girls do. He then spends a long time on the story of how Maddie grew up and how she got to where she is now, and the fact that he sent her money for both a car and then also co-signed her apartment lease. He then talks about the medical bills that she said he wouldn't send her money for, and he says that those bills were for grief counseling after she broke up with her boyfriend. And he said that he didn't believe in this. He says that medical bills are more for when you're sick and when you're not doing well, rather than grief counseling over a breakup with a boyfriend. He then makes a statement where he says that psychology is full of far left female wokesters, and that is literally word for word what he says. And also the fact that any counseling that she got would be from a woman who would then brainwash her into hating her dad even more. He then starts praising her out of nowhere, saying that she's a doer and that she's a really productive person. And then he inserts a story where he helped her get over her fear of the gym by saying just turn up to the gym and then turn up and go in and then turn up, go in and use one machine, whatever. It's a nice story, but it's really randomly just kind of slotted in there when he's praising her. I don't know if he's trying to say that he's cool and helpful because he got her over her fear of the gym, which, I mean, okay. Well done, mate. He then goes on to show their text messages, and by show the text messages, I mean that he held his phone up like this and kind of just scrolled through it, so you can't really see anything. I think I got a clip of it, but you can see that the text messages are there, but you can't really see what they say or anything, so they could be from him to her, they could just be random text messages, I don't really know. But what I do know is that he then ends the video talking about how woke society is, and I think that's a great way to end his statement. I think social media has really changed people's perspectives on how to deal with situations, because this is not something that should have been so open. I don't agree with him at all posting a 30-minute video, a lot of which was childhood videos, trying to talk about a situation that he should just call her over. Like, if they were no contact and like completely didn't talk to each other at all, then maybe I'd understand it because it's your only way to communicate with her. But he sat there showing all of these text messages saying that they talk nearly every day, but then he decides to handle this situation by posting everything online. I don't know, it's a bit strange to me. Like, the 30-minute response has had 2 million views. That's insane. That's more views than her video got. So when he sat there saying that she's sent all of the people over from social media and he's getting all this hate, what are the people that have watched your video going to do back? Because I know that Twitter is more of a hellscape than any other social media. This situation is kind of just her view versus his view, so it's up to you guys who you kind of believe more. And I'd like to see what you guys think down in the comments below. My personal opinion is that it's quite true. Her mum could have, you know, like changed her perspective on things and said some things that he did that he didn't actually do, but overall I think he's the worst one here, and I think that's very easy to say. I mean, you can just look at his Bitcoin shirt and make up your own mind, really, but you know, we don't judge here, we listen to people's perspectives. But make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I will see you next week. Bye.